Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I'm going to start with an angry rant today. Yeah. I'm 60. I'm old. I am officially old. Yes, I am old. And as an old person, I have a rant. I do. I have a rant. Yeah. Okay. Making us old people have to buy apps for everything, making us have to do everything online, getting rid of the things that we are familiar with, like postal service and the mail, paper bills, things we know, things we understand. I am very much Generation X, early Generation X. I like paper bills, but everybody has said that it's more convenient to e-bill us. We can do it online. It's so much more convenient. And I have to ask this, I really do. Convenient for who? No, really, convenient for who? Because for those of us, Generation X, like myself, boomers like my parents, yeah. For us, it's not convenient. It is a fucking nightmare. Even Generation Y, the older Generation Y, they are struggling with it as well. Yeah, but yeah. The war babies, the boomers, Generation X, and part of Generation Y are really struggling with all this technology that is supposed to be convenient, but is in fact not the least fucking bit convenient. In fact, it's painfully inconvenient and annoying and frustrating and difficult. And we don't like it. We really don't like it. We really, really don't like it. We're getting a little sick of your crap, okay? Come on. I get it. It's cheaper for you to e-bill everybody. It's cheaper for you to do everything online. But for us, for those of us who are part of any of the generations before the technology era, before computers became a thing, those of us who are from that era, we exist. And we're not finding it terribly convenient. We're finding it incredibly fucking frustrating. And that is a problem. Yeah, that is an absolute fucking problem. So yeah, before you tell us how convenient it is for us to switch over to doing things the modern way with electronic shit and computerizing everything, doing everything by email, doing everything by apps, before you tell us how convenient it is, ask yourself, convenient for who? Because it's not convenient for us. It's not convenient for us. And that is my commentary on having just turned 60 yesterday. Happy birthday to me. I am officially an old fart. Yeah. It's not convenient. It's just not convenient. So having got that out of the way, my angry rant for the morning, I want to talk about a few things that evangelical apologists have said about me as an atheist. And it's not just Christians, but also evangelical fundamentalist Muslims who have also made similar comments. But I want to address a few of those claims that have been made about me by the apologists, religious apologists. And the first of these is, of course, that I hate God. No, I don't. I don't hate God. I don't hate elf. I don't hate unicorn. I don't hate hobgoblin. Don't hate any of them. I also don't hate Jesus. In fact, I like Jesus. I consider Jesus to be a heroic character, on par with, yes, Luke Skywalker or Harry Potter or Frodo Baggins. I've said this before, yeah. That, a character worthy of admiration. And yes, the teachings attributed to him, these ancient Buddhist teachings that are misattributed to him, are very good teachings. And, they're good teachings. Love thy neighbor. Blessed are the meek. Blessed are the compassionate. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for justice. This is all good stuff. This is all basic Buddhism, and it's easily traceable to long before Jesus is supposed to have existed. But yeah, if Jesus is the vehicle for presenting these ideas west of the Indus, then that's okay. That's not a problem. Oh. Hair in my mug. Morning tea. First morning tea. Yes. Yes. I'm a little hobbit-like in that regard. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, I don't hate Jesus. I don't. I have a very high regard for him as a character. The teachings attributed to him are good, solid teachings. Very valid and very timeless. Love, compassion, humility, honesty, integrity, and the desire to make sure that everybody gets treated fairly. This is good. This is all stuff that matters to me. It's all very important to me. It is also very old Buddhist philosophy, which comes out of Hindu philosophy. And it's all found in ancient pagan philosophy as well. The Egyptians, the Greeks, the various Mesopotamian civilizations of Babylon and Sumer and Akkad, as well as the Persians, who gave rise to Judaism through their Zoroastrian cult. They all had these same basic ideas. And if it makes you feel good to attribute it to your Jesus, then by all means, absolutely. Yeah, okay. It works. No, I don't hate Jesus. So we've got that out of the way, don't we? The next claim that is often made about me is that I am an atheist because I want to sin. And that I'm an atheist because it allows me to pursue a life of hedonism or hedonism. No, that's not how it works. I have no desire to sin, whatever that means. And hedonism or hedonism is more a thing about being rich. And yeah, you can believe in the gods and pursue a life of pleasure as long as you have money. If you're like me and don't have that kind of money, you can't really practically pursue a life of pleasure. Hedonism is absolutely impractical, to say nothing of potentially self-destructive. It's stupid. But mostly it's a privilege of obscene wealth, okay? Hedonism does not require atheism. Atheism does not require hedonism. Hedonism requires obscene wealth. And atheism just requires examining one's faith in the gods from the honest standpoint of, is this supported by observable reality? And yeah, I determined by looking, by checking, by doing my fucking research that no, it's not supported by reality. The gods don't exist. They just don't. And this goes for all the gods, not just yours. This goes for Zeus and for Shiva and for Odin and for Osiris and for Jehovah. Goes for all of them. Goes for all of them. All the gods are equally implausible. So no, it's not hedonism or the desire to sin. It's the acceptance of screamingly obvious reality. That's it. Just the acceptance of screamingly obvious reality. Finally, my favorite is the ever so vague, well, what about your lifestyle? Yeah. What about your lifestyle? Well, what about my lifestyle? 21st century, urban wage slave. No longer a renter, I am a homeowner, but still, a homeowning wage slave. My lifestyle, 21st century urban homeowning wage slave. That is my lifestyle. What is this connection with atheism? Well, there is no connection. There's none. I mean, yeah, there are plenty of people who belong to religions who also have the exact same lifestyle. We just live our lives, and yeah, there's really nothing more to it. Finally, there's the misplaced fake sympathy. Oh, you're so miserable. If you just accept Jesus into your heart, you wouldn't be so miserable. Given by people who themselves are absolutely miserable. They are. Wallowing in self-loathing, self-hatred, self-recrimination, self-doubt, self-flagellation, to say nothing of frequent self-stimulation. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. No, I'm not miserable. I'm perfectly happy. I have a good life. I'm not desperately lonely. I live in a community. I have people that I share my house with. Yeah. I have family. And yeah, that's important. I have family, I have friends, I have community. Yeah, so no, I'm not desperately lonely, and I'm not miserable. I mean, yeah, your church gives you a sense of community, your mosque, your synagogue, they give you a sense of community. Okay. I get a sense of community from a community that has no religious connotations whatsoever. And I'm a very happy camper. I'm sorry, but yeah. I have a good life. I have a happy life. And yeah, I don't want to go back to the self-loathing that was my life back when I was, well, a Christian. I don't want to go back to thinking of myself as a miserable sinner and filthy rags and totally depraved. I don't want to go back to thinking of myself that way. I was miserable. I hated who I was. Absolutely. Because I believed that I was a horrible person. because that was the message that was hammered into me in church as a child. This was beaten into me as a kid. That's basic Christian indoctrination. That you are a worthless, miserable sinner who is totally depraved. You are just dirty and you are filthy rags. And the only way you can be redeemed, that is given value, is through Jesus. And that kind of indoctrination, the self-hatred that comes from that indoctrination, makes people miserable. It is quite literally why so many Christian teenagers kill themselves. Well, that and the realization that they are not exactly heterosexual. Yeah. They kill themselves in droves. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And that's something that I observed as a Christian teenager, growing up as a Christian. That, yeah, there were a lot of kids who killed themselves. A lot. And a lot of them left behind very strong suggestions as to why they killed themselves. And it was usually because they thought they were turning gay. Yeah. They thought they were turning gay, so they killed themselves to avoid being damned to hell for being a dirty homosexual, a dirty fag. Yeah. Yeah. They were Christians. They killed themselves. I'm an atheist. I don't see myself as dirty. I don't see myself as filthy rags or as totally depraved. I don't see myself as worthless and in need of a savior. And I don't consider myself to be filthy rags. I am a valid human being. And yeah, a part of my seeing myself this way is that I arrived at atheism. I escaped religious indoctrination, and I arrived at atheism. And now, I have a happy life. I don't wallow in self-loathing and self-pity. I don't fear eternal damnation. I don't cower in terror at the thought that I might be not good enough for heaven. Yeah. And I don't beg Jesus to forgive me for existing. I just don't. Yeah. I don't need to. Because I don't need to be forgiven. There's nothing to forgive me for. I haven't done anything that would require me to be forgiven. Least of all, by a God of any sort. Because, yeah, not only do I have a good life, but I'm a good person. And I can acknowledge the fact that I'm a good person. Whereas, yeah, I've talked to evangelicals who swear up and down that they are horrible people who are totally depraved, and if it weren't for Jesus holding them back, they would be out raping and killing. And if that's what it takes for you to not be out raping and killing, then by all means, cling to your religion. But don't project your failings and shortcomings, whether real or imaginary, onto me, please. Because I'm not you. And yeah, I have a good life. I am a happy individual. I have a sense of community. I have a family. I have people in my life who care about me and who I care about, people who matter. I don't know if you're going to understand this. I really don't. I don't know if you're going to get it. But I want you to think about it. I want you to just pause and think about it. And ask yourself the question, what if the only thing holding me back isn't Jesus, but something intrinsic to myself, my own intrinsic nature to not be a monster? What if I'm just not a monster? And what if all this self-loathing and self-hatred is pointless, senseless, stupid, and self-defeating? Something to think about. Something to think about.